1.17 is now out, and there are so many new blocks and items to get your hands on. But in order to get a good amount, you're going to need some redstone farms. Here are 5 1.17 farms and how to decorate them. Over here we have a dripstone farm. Now this is really nice early game because it's pretty cheap and it works similarly to a sugarcane farm in the sense there are 2 observers on either side that detect the dripstone growing down and trigger these pistons to push the dripstone into the water stream below and into the collection system. Now this will collect the pointed dripstone which can then be crafted into the dripstone blocks. Now this isn't the most efficient thing in the world, but you can just place this in the spawn chunks and it will always be loaded. It's a fairly small farm, so you don't need to worry about it being in the way. So it's a really nice farm just to have, especially in the early game. Now as you can see, I've decorated this as if it's a normal cave. I've just detailed it with some cobblestone, some tuff, and some andesite in places, and I've got patches of the dripstone with the iron, the raw iron, and the pointed dripstone just hanging from the ceiling. And then around the room we have some spruce pathways and rails and things like that. I really like how the minecart chests are looping around. It sort of makes it seem like it's functioning. It's really animated as well. I really like that detail. And then over here we've got a spruce trim with the looms and the dark oak, which just adds yet another detail to it. Next up we have a really nice early game farm for collecting the moss carpets, wheat seeds, and both of the Azalea variants. And this is a really nice farm just because it's fairly good for the early game. It collects quite a lot of blocks and it is fairly resource efficient. As you can see, it's situated in this custom lush cave over here. We have a nice tree, we have a marshy, pondy area over here. And we've also added a little gradient into the floor with the mossy cobblestone, the moss, and then the glow lichen on the cobblestone. We also have some emerald ores hidden in here as if it's some kind of moss as well. It just looks really nice. And over here on the custom azalea tree, we actually have a lever which activates the farm, and as you can see, it rapidly grows these plants and sends them into this system here. It does require a lot of bone meal, but if you have a skeleton farm, that shouldn't be a problem. It also uses a lot of tinted glass for the design. You can use this with regular glass, but it's really nice to sort of use the glowberries in here to create an artificial lighting system separate to the rest on the inside of the farm itself. Next up, we have an amethyst farm. Now, I tried for ages to come up with the design. I tried to go off the netherwarts one, but it just didn't work, so I had to borrow this design off Il Mango. I'll leave the video in the description where he showcased it, and this is a really nice farm just to have in an amethyst geode. You can tear down an entire geode and just leaving a single budding amethyst to grow the amethyst on the sides, and the observers will detect the amethyst growing, sending these pistons to push it off when it reaches the 4th stage. And this is a really nice decoration as well. It's a good little custom crystal cave over here. So on this side we have some colorful crystals over here using the amethysts themselves, and then on the left we have some basalt pillars also with the amethysts growing as well, with some water streams and things like that. And on the ceiling we also have a patch of dripstone as well hanging down from the ceiling. But overall this is a really nice design. There is a collection system right in the center of the room collecting the amethyst shards, where the water streams enter these hopper systems right down here. Next up, we have a glowberry farm based off of Ray Works' design, but tweaked ever so slightly, so it's fully automatic and it will collect all the items at the bottom in a single chest. And this works really nicely unless you have the random tick speed really high, in which case it has a tendency to get stuck. You may see it here, it should be fine though. And the way this works is the flying machine will come along either side infinitely and collect these glowberries. As you can see, it actually got stuck there, but it did sort itself out. If the random tick speed is at the normal 3, it should work absolutely fine. Now, this design over here is sort of a modern day mineshaft, and this works really nicely. As you can see, we've got like a tunnel coming along here with the cave out here. We've got scaffolding on like an observation platform around here with the tinted glass, which creates like a brand new unique light source in here, so it's completely separate from this section here. And then we've got some grey concrete with some gravel, a forklift truck, and a lift, which just really details this area, and it's definitely my favourite design of the room. We've also made use of some of the copper oxidizing here, mixed in with some polished granite, but overall this just works really nicely as some kind of industrial mineshaft room. Next up, we have a moss block farm design. And over here, this is the farm itself. Now, this is pretty much my own design entirely. I did tweak it ever so slightly using puffing fishes, a stone generator. So it was originally my own, but this one worked a bit better because it had a tendency to create cobblestone by mistake from time to time. So this one does work a bit better, so I did use his design for that. But everything else is entirely my own design, as well as the collection system and sorting system down below. So this will sort all of the blocks into either moss, which will be collected in this chest, or into this composter, which will turn it into bone meal, which could then, if you wanted to do so, be transported back up to the dispenser and completely make this farm mostly renewable, although I believe there would be a point where the bone meal would become a limiting factor and it would slow down significantly. But apart from that, this is a really nice design based on some kind of oriental temple. As you can see, I've used the red sandstone and the orange terracotta, mixed in with a bit of stone as well. For the main body of this build, as well as a stone foundation with a really nice gradient from the deep slate all the way up to the cobblestone. And then for the roof, I've gone with copper with a bit of the stripped warped wood, and then a dark oak trim. But overall, this works super nicely as some kind of oriental build, and it really helps disguise the moss farm on the inside. I've also terraformed the front a tiny bit as well with this moss blocks and a custom jungle tree over here. And overall, this works really nicely, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. And there we have it, all 5 designs. Let me know what you think of them down below, and if you have any suggestions for other videos like this, then feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or join my Discord, where I have a suggestions channel as well. If you'd like to use these farms yourself in your own survival worlds, then there will be a world download in the description below. But if you are going to use them in any videos, please give me credit where it is due. But anyway, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.